What's up, folks? Boy X is back. Today we're going to be looking into a YouTuber who I came across probably not too long ago, a homestead journey. And her videos have been sticking out to me because she covers topics that cross my mind. Like things that she talks about definitely crosses my mind on a daily basis. And it seems to be focused on the state of the world when you really pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of weird stuff going on. There's a lot of purposely hurtful things going on that's coming from so many different angles and perspectives and areas of, society. And people are just seemingly oblivious to this type of stuff. But there's other people who are noticing these type of things going on, and we just need to hear what these people need to say. So we're definitely about to look into a particular one when it comes to weirdness, okay? Before we dive into this, I think this needs to be said when it comes to weirdness. Let me just give you an example. Going into a grocery store. I'm not going to say any specific names just for the sake of anything. Going into a grocery store, you encounter weird behavior, right? When it comes to the looking, the staring, just the ominous vibes, the energy that you be feeling and stuff. And sometimes the weird shit that you see when you're trying to get some groceries and go home, right? You get this weird feeling, right? I'm not the only one, right? So that is one example. This is kind of like the gist of what we're going to be talking about, but for many different aspects of life. Work, to school, to the medical field, all avenues. So the original video will be down in the description bar below. Check her out. She's an awesome chick. And we need more people to cover stuff like this. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive in. Y'all. Hold on 1 second though. All right,
not
bam.
the only one that feels like everyone around you is sleepwalking.
The life we thought we had, it's gone. What you've been planning for and saving for and working for.
We're at a crossroads, you guys. We're at one of the biggest crossroads that humanity has ever experienced.
My time, my energy, my labor is clearly being used for what? To build and maintain and operate what kind of nation?
Man, I've gotten to the point where I can't talk to any of my friends anymore. I can barely even speak to my own.
You see what I'm saying? So I kind of gave probably a vague example, now that I'm saying, because what these people were talking about just in a few seconds we started, this is the shit I'm talking about, y'all. This is the shit that we need to cover and see and listen to. Because there has definitely been a shift. There has definitely been a change. In one of my last streams that a lot of people probably haven't seen, we talked about this shift into 5D, which is a metaphorical kind of saying of people who are aware and trying to not be so affected with this change that seems to be happening to people, right? But we seeing these people who are affected by the change, there's a drastic change. And the whole thing of people sleepwalking, that's exactly kind of the thing what I mentioned, or what I meant when it comes to grocery shopping, you know what I'm saying? But let us continue. There's a lot.
I miss the days when I didn't know all this shit.
Who's done with this world? Who's done with the script? We can feel it's coming to a finale.
So apparently me taking a video of the sky in my backyard is misinformation. So we're gonna post it like this.
Mandatory for the right to work.
People are reporting that their phones are seeing and predicting what they are thinking.
You may never go outside again.
Travel restrictions? Essential employees? I'm not going to say it, but I think we all know what ML is.
I won't be a conspiracy theorist, but y'all tell me.
Have you noticed that everywhere you turn, the dinner table, your place of employment, your friends, social media posts, that someone's talking about what they really think is happening behind the scenes? It's like conversations that used to be considered fringe or weird, conspiratorial, are in everyday talk. And that's different for a lot of people. Look at all the different types of issues that people are talking about and really asking questions about right now.
How f***ing stupid do they think we are? So they create this huge problem And then they come at us and say, oh, we've got the solution to the problem that we created in the first place. They have my passport, my driver's license, my birth certificate, my marriage certificate. What else do they need? They don't need anything else. I am begging anybody out there.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think there's a store, Whole Foods, where they have the system allowed where you can actually use a chip that's been embedded in your arm and you just swipe it to pay. Like, that type of technology is eventually going to get to a point where it includes maybe your birth certificate, your ID, your identification, and other information. Who knows? Maybe in insurance. Like, why? Why isn't the stuff that we have in place already good enough? There's a lot to say about that, you know. But I'm gonna let this video carry on, just so we don't hold us. But yeah, just think, people. Think.
That's got anything going on up here, do not comply. Do not comply. I sure as shit ain't complying. I run my own business. If I lose that, I lose it. If I can never travel abroad again, I would never travel abroad again. Apart from trying to get out of this country. Holy, pardon my French this evening, but I am so angry. And I'm angry. I'm the angriest. Because we called this, me and him sat here years ago and we called this years ago, and even my own family said we were batshit crazy when we were calling stuff like this.
There it is.
Do not comply.
That's another part too. Like, you being aware of the black sheep, being aware of this type of shit. You try to talk to a family member about it, and it doesn't hit them as hard. And when you really think about that, it makes you think that it makes you think in terms of like the Matrix and shit, doesn't it? Because it's like, alright, you telling them this stuff to awaken them, to have them aware of what the hell is going on, but it doesn't like click with them. So when you think deep about it, it's like they're part of the system, part of the program to, I don't know, man. This type of shit could get so too deep. So anyways, let's carry on.
Dystopian. Oh, I hate the government.
The life we thought we had, it's gone. What you've been planning for and saving for and working for and dreaming for, those things are all gone and they are not coming back. We have two choices in this moment. Because I think even the most deeply asleep among us, in your heart of hearts, you know what we thought we were going to, that future is absolutely gone. So what are we going to do about it? We can sit here quietly and let this play out. Are we going to stand up and try to salvage something for our children and our children's children? I have a brand new granddaughter. She was born last month. And I will not be silent in this moment, because I don't know what her future is going to look like, but I know what it will look like if I stay quiet, and that I cannot do.
Let's just keep in mind, it's going straight to a commercial, so we're going to have to deal with that at some point. But let's just keep in mind how this woman just went into tears right here. That the tears stand out to me. Hold on one second. The tears stand out to me because I know part of you knowing this information, what you're supposed to do with it is not let it make you emotional. But how can it not when you think about the young ones, the little ones that has to go through this shit? You know what I'm saying? When things in errors of life, as we get to the more recent, the more current times, it gets harder and harder and harder. Not obviously hard though. You would think that there's a whole lot of opportunities, but the binds and these slick and subtle ways to keep people entrapped are more elaborate and more complex. And you have to, again, be working up here to be able to peep game. So this is why this woman is going into tears, because she might have a plan in the future, you know, what to do going towards the future. But when it comes to other people especially her little ones who's not even at the age to take care of themselves. That's where shit like really makes you think, you know what I'm saying? So shall we continue?
Bravery is not the absence of fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's doing what has to be done, even if your voice shakes, even if you're so scared you're not sure you can move one foot in front of the other. It is time to realize we do not have the life we had before, and it's not coming back.
I miss the days when I didn't know all this shit. I miss the days when I thought that the food and water were clean and perfectly healthy to eat. I miss the days when I thought that money was real. I miss the days when I thought that politicians actually had our best interest in mind and there were smart adults.
You know, this might not hit y'all as hard as it's hitting me, because most of y'all probably are born after a certain time period. But me being born probably around an area where he was born, in the 90s, or probably before, there is this obvious difference when it comes to the overall vibe, the overall atmosphere of everyday life. You know what I'm saying? And it's, again, please don't take what I'm saying as like the pseudo-scientific, pseudo-perspective type shit. This is definitely something obvious. Like, we did not have the worries that we did back in the day. We didn't have the care. We didn't have to worry too much about safety. We was a whole lot more carefree about shit. We didn't stress so much about bills and, you know, work, you know, that type of stuff. And the overall demeanor of people was like more friendly, more peaceful. You know what I'm saying? So we, in today's world, nowadays, it's a drastic difference. So us from a different era, growing up in a different era, still being alive up to this point, us seeing this change, we have to call the shit out. You have to call a spade as a spade and shit, you know? Because, like, whoever's behind this shit definitely know what they're doing. And again, they're doing it subtly, slickly, where a majority of people is not noticing this shit. You gotta ask, what's the reason why they're doing this? Why are they making life get to this point of being so hard? So pushing people towards a way of being lost, you know? Like, you think that life in society's pushing people towards these different niches, right? There's so many more different niches that came about as time went on, like the LGBTQ, the tech world, the finance world, you know what I'm saying? Just these different niches, and there's plenty more. I'm being vague as hell, but y'all know what I'm talking about. You would think that you getting involved in one of these groups would be somewhat fulfilling, but clearly that's not happening. That's not happening. If anything, it's actually doing the opposite and making people want more fulfillment. They're craving and lacking something. They're feeling the lack of something. So I hope this video touches on that, but just in case if it doesn't, what you're trying to look for to get that fulfillment, you're only going to find that inside. And there's a whole thing when it comes to that. So just hear that, remember it before the end of this video, and then go back to it once this video is done and try to figure out what I mean by that.
In the room, I miss the days when I didn't know about the absolute devastation that the United States has wrought on the planet through its foreign policy. But here's something that I think is true for all of us. Once you know all this stuff, there's no going back. There's no option to take the blue pill ever again. I'm stuck with this. I'm stuck with this urge to, like, at least talk about it, because if I keep all this bottled up, I'm gonna lose it. But I do still miss those days. It was a simpler time. It was a nicer time. It was a more peaceful time. And ever since, I have just really wanted to go back to that same sort of everything will be okay feeling.
I haven't been awake that long compared to most of the people. I would love to know, how long have you been awake for? And if you had one piece of advice for something that you've learned or something that would be helpful to someone who is just waking up now.
Who's done with this world? Who's done with the script? We can feel it's coming to a finale. Who is ready to check out? Who's ready to just hop on van life and get the hell out of here?
You know what this man just said, who's ready to check out, goes in tangent with what that last woman just said about being recently awakened. You know what I'm saying? I think there's levels to... Hold on a minute, I thought I heard something. There's levels to being awoke, being aware. And I think usually towards the first stages, that's one of the first symptoms, you wanting to check out of this world. But you got to stay strong. Got to be strong and know that there's got to be an end point. And as you continue on and being aware, being on your guard about certain things and protecting yourself, you know, from what really is a spiritual attack. You know, that's pretty much what's going on in today's world. You notice that there's an end goal, and you have to maintain, you have to keep that fire lit until the finish line. Can't check yourself out because that's quitting. And we don't know what happens after death, but I think we can almost be certain, right, that that's not the way life was intended to go. So I don't know. I don't want to get too much on that. But yeah, there's levels to the shit when it comes to being aware. And yeah, if you're at the point of to hell with all this shit, you're not at the point where you need to be. You need to stay strong and keep it going and always keep hope. Okay? Things will get better. It's all about perspective.
Have those people figured something out that we haven't, that they can just disconnect, walk away from it all? And yeah, it's tough, I bet, but whether they did it out of need or want, shit, it's kind of biblical. Like, nomadic life has been in the Bible, it's been there for eons, but is the way we're living really that good? It's like they feed us all these creature comforts just to get us to comply and to be submissive to everything. I mean, we shouldn't be struggling paycheck to paycheck no matter what. And the freaking housing prices just to live, the rent, I mean, come on. You can't live and just pay everything you just worked all day just to pay everything into it for a box. I'm ready to get 4 wheels and decorate it for a couple of bucks. Just get the hell out of Dodge.
That's another thing, y'all. When it comes to the whole housing thing, of course that's a thing, but most people want to own their own place, right? But how it's set up, especially in America right now, dude, y'all already know. So it just makes me think of the people who are still stuck in that mentality. Are they still trying to achieve that? Because, dude, it's almost like an inevitable end, right? You're either going to be stuck paying this shit for the rest of your life, or you're going to be stuck paying this shit for the rest of your life. And you're going to work your ass off, damn near sucking your soul out, right? You know, it's like you're almost selling your soul for just a box. I think people really need to think deep about that. And forgive me for the way I put it. I probably did not put it in the best way. But I think a lot of people need to come to terms with, like, is it worth it? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
I'm kind of done with all of this world. And jobs. I don't care what they say about the American economy. Here in California, where I'm located, good luck finding one. Good luck finding one that's actually going to pay the bills. Good luck finding one that's actually full-time. You're going to need like 4 part-time jobs. That's their idea of a good financial market now. Good luck. I'm about to get a van, I think. I don't know.
You know what I don't get? Anything. What the fuck is happening?
Man, I've gotten to the point where I can't talk to any of my friends anymore. I can barely even speak to my own family because everybody's still just so blind to what's going on. And then when I talk about any of it, I'm crazy. Like, I'm trying to explain to my sister how some of the stuff that she's letting my niece, her daughter, listen to is terrible. And they're like, oh, well, it's the edited version. It doesn't matter as even.
That is another thing that, you know, shout out to the mother of my kids. Don't talk about her too much on the channel, but me and her, we're not together, but we're definitely cordial, and definitely took some time to get to that point. But yeah, we want the best for our kids. But I remember towards the end of our relationship, she had this friend come into her life, right? That I did not like off the rip. It was just the vibe that I got, and she eventually started pressuring the mother of my kids to start doing things that I wasn't really happy with, which is pretty much just going out, going to bars, clubs. You know, the woman who I was with, the mother of my kids, she wasn't really too much into that. But yeah, so this woman comes around and she starts pressuring her and that type of shit. Years later, it turns out that they stopped becoming friends because one day they're at some kind of like party where kids are allowed or something, like this hotel bar type of deal, and her new friend's daughter, which is probably about like 7 through 9, I'm not sure her age, she was on top of like the counter, the bar, dancing to Sexy Red, and the mother of my kids was like, yo, what is she doing? Get her down. And that kid's mom was like, leave her alone. She's having the best time of her life. Let her do what she's doing. And that's when they call it quits. So when I hear this dude saying this, as shocking as it is, there's people who have fell for the juice. They fell for the juice, y'all. Somehow, some way. And you've really got to think about what the hell I'm saying here. It's a mom that fell for this shit. Moms are supposed to be the most protective of their kids. You know what I'm saying? If they can. How does a mom allow a child to do that? Get to that point. Accept that type of behavior. You know, that type of entertainment into their child's life. Clearly something is going on here, right? Okay, that's my point.
Even if the word is taken out of it, the rest of it is still there. The meaning of it is still there. The indoctrination,
and these kids are smart, man.
Is still in
they understand no matter if you omit certain words.
And when I pointed out, I'm a nutcase. I'm losing my mind. I am on TikTok too much. That's what they say. But then 5 minutes later, they'll be spewing some shit that came from the news that's completely misinformation, such that you can easily figure it out yourself within 5 to 10 minutes of just actually doing a deep dive research.
I think this is very significant what he said right here. You calling somebody out for their behavior, some obvious bad behavior, and they're like deflecting it, but they call out something on the news. The higher powers have us exactly where they want. And when I say the higher powers, I'm saying the people in control of this shit we got going on right now. They're negative. There's nothing good about them, right? Because how the fuck is the state of the world the way that it is? And yeah, I get it. Shit was like this a long time ago according to certain texts. But again, like I said earlier, shit seems to be getting way more elaborate, way more subtle, to the point where people are slowly accepting this shit. And that's how you get these people. Yeah.
But I'm the one that's stupid, I'm the one that's brainwashed, and I'm the one that's losing it. It's true. It's not hard to brainwash people. It's hard to get them to realize they've been brainwashed. They won't accept it.
Hey, you realize it's a psyop, right? You realize that the things that you read and the things that they're showing you and the way that they're positioning things is to put you into an emotional state so that you're easier to control, right? You know that, right? You know that, like, they're conditioning you to think that the thoughts that you think are your own, but really they're just the thoughts that they want you to think based on the propaganda that they show you and the headline that they post. Like, you know this, right? Like, you know that majority of your emotionally charged ideas that you fight for on social media, pretending that the other people are your enemy, you know that that's all made up.
Listen, y'all, we're not gonna go too much further because I got my 2 little girls coming soon. So I'm not going to be able to get through the rest of this video. This is something that we're definitely going to get back into going forward. So again, shout out to this woman, A Homestead Journey. But when it comes to thoughts, something that I've been recently thinking about a lot lately, because of some elders saying this. Some thoughts do not originate from yourself. Some thoughts are being projected onto you. Now, exactly how? I'm not exactly sure how. But if you think in terms of how our phones are able to predict things, able to show you things that you haven't even vocally said, as many times as it happens, clearly there's something going on that we can't see physically, but we're able to have some kind of interaction with. And again, another example, think in terms of like when you're able to read somebody's thoughts. As crazy as that sounds, y'all know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Finishing each other's sentences, calling somebody calling you when you're thinking about them, and vice versa, that type of shit. So that's something that I think we want to be aware of, especially when it comes to in terms of like certain thoughts. I'm not going to say all thoughts, but yeah, this is where meditation comes into mind, learning to control these thoughts. This way you know innately what is yours truthfully and what is coming from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So it's a few more
right
now.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I cannot be the only one that feels like everyone around you is sleepwalking and you're awake. But you know you can't like yell at them to wake them up and you can't shake them, but they're all about to walk off the cliff. And you're just like, should I let them walk off the cliff? Or should I shake them and try to wake them up? I can't be the only one that feels like that. I feel like there's others that are awake too, but they're nowhere around me. But everybody else is just like walking in a circle asleep. Anybody else feel like that?
You know, damn, every single thing that these people are saying is just, when it comes to you knowing that there's other people who think like you, but they're not around. How true is that, yo? How fucking true is that? Because like, I don't know, you can like when you see somebody who's on that same level as you, it's like, brother, sister, where have you been? But damn near 95% of everybody else is like, I don't know how to put it, y'all. I don't. Let's not even get into that, but you couldn't clearly tell a difference. And it's like, it's almost like a repulsive type of energy. You know what I mean? It goes to a homie right there, hit me up. This is the homie that's in the hospital right now. And I was kind of actually talking to him about this earlier, but I'm going to hit him back in a little bit. Let's just do like 1 or 2 more.
If TENS units fixed chronic pain, I wouldn't have used mine for 4 years and still be here.
We're at a crossroads, you guys. Like, we're at like one of the biggest crossroads that humanity has ever experienced, at least in my lifetime, but I'm pretty sure everybody feels it. I'm not the only one. And it's really challenging. It's really challenging because on one hand, you guys, I consider myself to be a pretty positive person. Like, I'm practical. But I've been presented with things in my life that has made me have to go within a lot. and use the tools within myself to really try to navigate this whole thing. You know, like this year has made me like, I don't really want to listen to anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think on one hand, as a collective, we call bullshit. Like everything's bullshit. Like everything's backwards, everything's upside down, everything is as it seems. Okay? We've been presented with it. At the same time, we've always been presented with it. You know what I'm saying? But something is in the air that is like knocking at your door. It's like knocking on your spirit, being like, yo, hello, something's wrong here. And I'm proud of us for not overreacting in a way that I think this establishment is actually wanting us to do. Like, I think maybe on one hand, we're pretty tired. We're pretty zapped. You know, we've been working and trying to achieve and trying to getting to this place where life is actually multi-layered. It's the life that we've been living is actually pretty flat considering how multi-dimensional this place is.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the veil.
There's so much else that's happening. Like, we're way more than we were ever described as. We're way more than a diploma. We're way more than a job. We're way more than going grocery shopping, right? Like, I don't know where this is going, but I'm feeling kind of crazy. And it's a personal thing, but I also know I'm not alone in it.
Bro, there's like a major shift going on right now, right? And I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my body. I can feel it pulsating through me. Like, I don't know what the future holds for this reality and how long it has, but it's definitely crumbling. You know that saying, like, your body feels it before you like really see it. That's how I'm experiencing it, bro. All of this shit is about to crumble.
I think a lot of people are seeing it the same way, but anyways, we're gonna call it quits right here, y'all. I know this is there was a lot more to cover in this video, but again, like I said, I got some family coming soon and I got to get prepared for them. It's my 2 youngest girls, and you know the energy that they come with, I gotta prepare myself. But anyways, hope y'all enjoy. Again, check the video, the original video down in the description if you want to see the rest of it. And yeah, just think about what the hell we covered in this video, man, and what the homestead journey covered. You know, because this is the shit that needs to be talked about, man. There's definitely something to this. So, peace and prosperity, y'all. Catch you later.